Hello friends! Welcome to Sailor Moon Day presented by Okashikon. We are so excited to share these 4 different mocktails and cocktails with you. The first one we're starting out with is our Magical Maiden Fizz. This was created by Kat from our future Okashikon at Home panel, Cooking with Kat and Friends. Here she really made sure to focus on a summery drink that is both very sweet and very cute. After filling your glass with ice, go ahead and put in the lemon juice. Her recipe calls for 2 teaspoons, but I went ahead and just cut a lemon in half and squeezed the juice out of that. With this recipe, as with all of our recipes today, you can use the different measurements to make it as sweet or as sour or as bitter as you choose. Next, we're adding the rose syrup. We only need 2 tablespoons, but again, you can flavor as you wish. Rose syrup can be found at most Mediterranean, Middle Eastern, or international grocers, but more on it later if you would like to make it yourself. Next, we're adding the ginger ale. You can use any kind that you like here. We want to just top off the drink with this. Since we're making the mocktail version this time, we're going to go ahead and forego adding any gin. This next part is really fun. Here you get to go ahead and add your glitter. So this is an edible glitter that can be added to drinks, and it does an amazing job of making the drinks shimmer and shine and really give that magical girl feel. This glitter is also known as prism powder, and you can easily find it online. Be sure to mix it in so you can see it shimmer and sparkle in your drink. And with the final addition of these rose petals, you have completed your magical Maiden Fizz. Next up, we have the cocktail version of Magical Maiden Fizz. I chose the Treaty Oak Waterloo No. 9 gin. Treaty Oak is a distillery in Dripping Springs, which is very close to Austin. I wanted to pick something local, and it was a great choice because the gin is really smooth and it balances very well with the rose water and with the lemon juice. In terms of measurements, I went ahead and did 1 part ginger ale and 1 part gin, and it all balanced out really nicely. And finally, instead of adding rose petals on top, I put raspberries. Okay, about that rose syrup. So you can easily make rose syrup at home using dried rose petals, whether you find them food safe from a bulk store or even just from your garden. First, you'll make a simple syrup by bringing 1 cup of water and 1 cup of sugar to a boil. When it's bubbling and the sugar is dissolved, add 2/3 cup dried or 1½ cups fresh rose petals. Let that simmer on low for 10 minutes, then turn off the heat and let it steep for an additional 10. Finally, you'll strain and cool. Alright, let's get started on our next drink. Sa Ten is a local restaurant here in Austin where you can order Vietnamese coffee by the half gallon. I highly recommend it. It's super delicious and I love Sa Ten. However, if you aren't local to Austin, you can learn to make it yourself. Most of the recipes I found used exactly this coffee. It's Café de Monde's coffee with chicory and sweetened condensed milk. I'll be making coffee here as a pour over. So first I'll just start with 2 heaping tablespoons, I suppose, of Café de Monde's coffee and chicory. And from there, I'm just going to use my hot tea kettle to pour water slowly over the coffee grounds and into the pot below. I don't have a fancy kettle or anything like that, so I'm just going to use the one that I have and try to pour slowly. I do this in a circular motion so that I can make sure that all the grounds are moistened. I'm by no means a professional, so just make coffee how you normally would here. Next, I'm just going to use a glass bottle that I'm going to pour this into, and I have a little plastic funnel. You can get these bottles pretty much anywhere. They're by no means necessary. I just like the aesthetic. Alright, next you have your sweetened condensed milk. Any brand works. Just be really careful because it's going to go straight to the bottom of the glass. As you can see, it's displacing the coffee up at the top, so just be mindful of how much you're actually putting in. While the coffee is still warm, make sure to go ahead and shake it up and evenly disperse the sweetened condensed milk, and you're done. Next, we're going to be making a sea salt cream that you might have had from 85 Degrees and a cheese foam that you maybe have seen at Gongcha or Fengcha. For the sea salt cream, you just need heavy whipping cream. You can use 1 cup and then maybe 2.5 to 2 teaspoons of salt. Using an electric hand mixer, just mix that on medium until it's a cream. We don't want it to have stiff peaks or be like a thick foam because we do want to pour it in. Next, the cheese in our cheese foam is with cream cheese. You use 3 ounces of cream cheese, a half cup whipping cream, a half cup of half and half, and you'll need 3 tablespoons of monk fruit sweetener, or really you can just use sugar. I just basically Googled this recipe and this was the recipe that I found. So this is definitely not something I came up with myself, but it worked out really well. Alright, let's make the Moon Prism Power Wake Up Vietnamese coffee version. Starting out, I'm just filling a glass with ice. For both of these drinks, I'm going to be using a local brand of coffee liquor by Austin Roasting Company. It's called Café del Fuego and it's delicious. It mixes in really well and you can barely tell it's there. Because the saifa is so perfect, I'm going to be using the saifa instead of my own home creation. Also, it's already cold. The deposits at the bottom are normal, so that should also appear on your homebrewed version as well. For measurements, it should be 2 parts coffee and 1 part liquor. I definitely didn't get it right the first time, so I had to add more saifa later. You can mix it at the end or before you put in the foam, however you prefer. Some people like to have the foam on top so that you're constantly getting it as you drink without a straw, and some people like to mix the foam in. It's really your choice. I chose the sea salt cream to go with this one. As you can see, it's pretty soupy and pourable, and that's how it should be when you're mixing it in with your drink. Nothing is stopping you from using the cheese foam instead of the sea salt cream. I really liked the sea salt one with this one because the cheese foam made it a little too sweet, but honestly, it's your preference. And we gotta make it magical, so here are some metallic gold glitter stars that are of course edible. I got these off of Amazon, and honestly I just use them all the time on different desserts when I want to feel a little bit more celebratory. Last we have a prism straw. Really, this is your choice if you want to do this or not. I like mixing in the cream, so I went ahead and added that. Okay, it's time for the cold brew version. So I used actually high brew coffee. It's a canned coffee that is local to Austin as well. I personally don't like cold brew, but I wanted to try this, and I think the cheese foam really helped balance out the bitter flavor of cold brew. At least I got the proportions right this time. You'll notice that both today and during our panel, Cooking with Kat at OkashiCon at Home, that we're going to use a lot of local companies and a lot of local products. And we just want to promote what we have in the area because we have so many great things here in Austin. So please keep an eye out for that, and please support where you can. Please be sure to check us out during OkashiCon at Home. Not only will you see Cooking with Kat, but also with me again. And we'll have some more mixer drinks there for you as well.